Yo, welcome back to the channel for, you know what, we're here. But before we get into that, hey, welcome guys. If you're new here and you're of about the 50 some odd percent that are watching my content but aren't subscribed to the channel, what you waiting for? You're cordially invited to subscribe to my channel. There you go, written invitation. And after you do subscribe and turn that subscribe button from red to gray, go over and ring that bell. Make sure it says all so you know when the next video pops up. Make sure you smash that like button. Before you head out, drop a comment down below. And if you're one of the regulars here, welcome back for another round. Also for you guys, hit that like button, and before you leave, drop a comment as well. And of course, share the video out on all the socials. Before we jump into the topic, thanks guys. Thank you very much. Earlier this week, last week, we passed the 300 subscriber mark. Thank you so much. Could not be doing this without you guys. So thank you for all the support. I will be doing a thank you video later on this week, but the love is there, guys. Thank you so much. And on to more things. Okay, now we're here for those wacky families of Westeros for episode 8 of House of the Dragon. So there are going to be some light spoilers ahead. I'm going to do a couple scenes I really liked from the episode, talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and then my final thoughts. So without any further ado, let's get into this. Okay, the games are still being played, and people are just not playing nice. As Lord Corlys, we find out, has been fighting in the stepstones and has suffered a very grave injury, has a fever going, and his brother, Lord Vaymond, is like, okay, well, Driftmark's going to pass, High Tide's going to pass to me now. And Princess Rhaenys is like, no, the king's already said this, that it's going to pass through, the line of succession, that Prince Lucerys is going to become the Lord of High Tide and Driftmark. Prince Vaymond is like, oh, I'm surprised you're not making a claim of your own. And Rhaenys is like, well, who says I'm not? But again, trying to undermine the king and the succession that he said in the previous episode. So Prince Daemon and Princess Rhaenyra get the word of this on Dragonstone, so now they have to go to King's Landing and file and let the court hear their petition for something that was already solved. So back to King's Landing we go. And upon arriving in King's Landing, Rhaenyra and Daemon notice there's been a few changes, so to speak. As they enter the courtyard, they're not greeted by any lord or hand or whoever. And then doors to the gate open up, and in comes Lord Vaymond, surrounded by members of House Hightower. The fix is in, folks. We already know this, so this tells us right away the fix is in. And as we enter the Red Keep, what used to be a very festive, very Targaryen place has now been dulled down, and it's very quiet, almost monastery-ish, and we see a lot of images of the seven gods. So much to the point that the queen even now wears the seven-pointed star of the faith of the seven. Oh boy. And which really is kind of not surprising, since the maesters, who kind of go along with the faith of the seven, they are located, their great hall of learning, the Citadel, is in Old Town, which is held by, you guessed it, House Hightower. Convenient, huh? So, while they're waiting to meet with the queen, they go and see Rhaenyra, and Daemon go to see the king, and oh, he is not looking good. This poor man is barely hanging on. And later that evening, the princess goes back to see her father and asks him if he truly believes in Aegon the Conqueror's vision, his prophecy of the prince that was promised, the Song of Ice and Fire. Because if he truly believes that, she will continue to fight and stake her claim. And the king basically says, yes, I do. You need to fight. And then she says, then you need to fight for me. So the following morning, we're hearing the petitions, and we have 3. That's right, 3 petitions. Lord Vaemond is making his claim first, and when he's finished making his, Princess Rhaenyra starts to make hers, and she correctly calls this entire thing a farce, as Otto, I hate that guy, Hightower, is sitting on the Iron Throne as the voice of the king, and there's the queen as well, as Vaemond is standing very close to the queen and the group known as the Greens. All of a sudden, the doors swing open and we hear, "All hail King Viserys Targaryen of House Targaryen," and he is crawling in with this one arm on his cane, and Lord Vaemond looks at Alicent and Otto as if to say, this wasn't part of the plan. What's going on here? Otto gets up, proceeds down to meet the king, and Viserys then says, I'm going to sit on the throne today. Okay. King Viserys takes his place on his throne and says, why are we even hearing this? What petitions? This was settled. Rhaenyra's sons are my grandchildren. Nothing you can say. So then he asked Princess Rhaenys, who has more intimate knowledge of Lord Corlys than anyone else, what his thoughts were. Well, that third claim just got knocked down to 2 claims, as Princess Rhaenys backs Princess Rhaenyra. Lord Vaemond at this point has nothing to lose, so he's going to say it like it is. Calls Lucerys and Jacaerys bastards, and calls Princess Rhaenyra a whore. This doesn't sit well with the king, and he struggles to get up and says, I'll have your tongue for this, as he's clutching the cat's paw dagger. Well, Daemon and Dark Sister do a slightly better job, as they remove Vaemon's head from the top of his head from the rest of him, to which Daemon looks at the body and says, he can keep his tongue. We notice Prince Aemond is like, oh, uncle, I like your style. We then have what was, you could basically call it the Last Supper. It's all the Targaryens, Queen Alicent, Viserys, and some little sniping, and the tension starts rising, and then King Viserys stands up and takes off his mask to reveal the true horror of what his sickness has done to him, as he's barely hanging on to life, and says, I want all this infighting to stop. Put away your differences. We're a family. Just love each other. Don't do this, and don't do this because I said so as your king, but do it for an old man who just loves you. And it seems to work, as later on there's music, there's dancing, there's laughing. King's getting a little feeling some pain, so they take him away to get attended to. And, oh, Aemond, you little scoundrel, you, decides to have a final toast to his nephews and says, may they continue to grow to be good, wise, strong men. And it kicks it off again. They start fighting. Parents break them up. Rhaenyra says, we're going to leave. We're going to take the kids back to Dragonstone, and I'll come back and say hi. I'll come back on Syrax, and, we'll talk. And then the king, as Alicent is tending to him, after being hopped up on liquid heroin, is a bit loopy, thinks that Alicent is still Rhaenyra, and tells Alicent of Aegon's prophecy. Mind you, Alicent's oldest son is named Aegon, in case anyone forgot. And the prince that was promised. Alicent leaves, thinking the king has told her that Aegon needs to be king. Moments later, the king dies. Whew! Wow! So, things I liked. King Viserys is just amazing. This is his last episode. Just absolutely amazing. Plays it so well. I really loved one scene. It was in the throne room. Also, when he's ascending to get back up to the throne, his crown falls off his head. And a hand comes and picks it up to help him sit on his throne. And it's not a guard. It's not Otto. It's not Queen Alicent. It's his brother. Touching moment. I think either this is a calculated move on Daemon to soften him toward Rhaenyra, or Daemon has some humanity left in him. Another thing I liked, which also was something that I didn't like at the same time, Prince Aemond. Woo! This guy is cool. He is a badass. He is kind of a scoundrel. He's a rogue. He's an accomplished fighter. He's like his uncle. He's a leaner. Kind of leans back and just kind of observes the whole thing. The thing I didn't like, the casting of his older brother. Aemond clearly looks older. I think there was a bit of a miscasting there. But final thoughts on this. We are in the eye of the storm, guys. Queen Alicent, the previous episode, raised the stakes a little bit. We've got a level of calm. Now that the king has died, this sets everything in motion. Then these next two episodes, ooh, the lolly, it's going to be a banger. Because this is the Dance of Dragons. And cannot wait. The series has been great so far. Solid. As opposed to another fantasy series. Just saying. So, but those are my thoughts. Gonna turn it back over to you. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you Wednesday or Thursday for post-mortem on She-Hulk, maybe. Who knows? You can also find me this Saturday on Salty Nerd Podcast for Salty Saturdays. And again, remember, folks, subscribe, ring that bell, hit the like button, share the video, and I'll see you when I see you next time. Again, thank you for over 300 subs. Still going forward. And until then, guys, have a great week, guys. Always have fun. Hashtag keep talking. And always keep that smile on your face. Toodles!